Hello friends, good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizing institution, Karmavir Bhausaheb Hire College, Nimgaon, District Nashik, for organizing one-day virtual national conference on tools for online teaching, learning, and evaluation. Friends, just before some time, we had an opportunity to listen to Kaushik Madam from Rajasthan, and she has conducted a very interactive session with all of us. In this respect, I would like to congratulate ma'am also for giving such an interesting deliberation on the topic. And of course, the greetings are also expected to be given to the organizing unit, especially Honorable Principal Sir, Coordinator, and the organizing secretary, those who have taken up this topic called Tools for Online Teaching, Learning and Evaluation. I think this is the topic of the time now. The COVID-19 has resulted in all schools and colleges shut for across 18 months or so. And as a result, education has drastically changed with the distinctive rise of e-learning. Whereas teaching is undertaken remotely by all the teachers fraternity on different digital online platforms. And that's why I said the topic taken up for the presentation today, that is the core area of this event, tools for online teaching, learning and evaluation. So friends, the recent research in this respect suggests that online learning has shown a considerable increase in the retention of information and creating tremendous awareness among the learners and the teachers about various tools, especially online tools for dissemination of knowledge. If you see the present scenario, more than 180 countries have been severely affected by COVID-19 infection. And of course, we as a country, India as a country, is also not untouched from. So whatever scenario is there now, it has actually taught us a lesson to live on a different path. And with this sudden shift away from the offline classroom, in many parts of this globe, some are wondering whether the adoption of online learning will really continue even after the post-pandemic situations? Honorable Principal Sir also talked about it. So here I think my topic begins. The topic assigned to me is online teaching and learning tools, or you can also say tools for online teaching and learning. So friends, I will talk on three major important issues today. Of course, everybody knows what is online, what is teaching and learning, no doubt about it. Because most of the participants, those who have joined this event, already we are into online teaching and learning. So these two areas are, of course, very well acquainted with us. But the third aspect of my presentation will be various effective tools for online teaching and learning. But the question is, the kind of teaching that presently we are providing to the students, is that really sufficient? The question is, except the platforms like Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, how many of us are really doing apart from that or beyond that? Of course, these questions are always raised by a number of academicians in our country. If you minutely observe the surrounding in academics today, you will find that most of the teachers are using the video conferencing platforms, getting connected with their students, delivering lectures as they were delivering in their offline classes, and feeling a sigh of relief that they have done their great job. My question is that really sufficient to provide a better educational facility to our students? So there are several doubts in my mind in this respect, because along with you all, I am also sailing in the same boat. So let us have a new, different perspective today. And I hope by the end of my presentation, definitely you will learn something new and you will try to inculcate and follow the same in your own professional life. So coming back to the main point, as already I said, all of us know that what is online. But let us look at the word in the grammatical point of view, in the structural point of view, in the syntactic point of view. This online is a compound word that has a prefix on and the noun line. So this has become a compound word, online, which is exhaustively used today all over the world. So online means something that is provided via wired or wireless internet line with the help of a computer or a laptop or a tablet or a smartphone or any electronic gadget that can establish the communication. Since it is controlled by and connected to a computer or to the internet, and that's why you call it online holistically. So we are connected to, served by, or available through a system, and especially a computer or a telecommunication system such as internet that gives you a platform to get connected virtually with the people scattered all around. This is the concept that you call online. Now, I would like to talk about teaching and learning. Already you know the topic of the virtual conference organized. Tools for online teaching and learning. But my question is, can you really dissociate teaching and learning from each other? As a matter of fact, teaching and learning has a reciprocal relationship. If you look at it in the holistic point of view, you will realize that teaching can be defined as engagement with learners to enable their understanding and application of knowledge, concepts, processes, so on and so on, that actually initiate the process of teaching from the teacher's point of view. Similarly, to teach is to engage students in learning. In the previous session, you have seen several activities we can use online and involve our students in the process of teaching and learning. Because you cannot really dissociate teaching from learning and vice versa. Thus, teaching consists of getting students involved in the active construction of knowledge. Mind it well, the days are gone that the teacher is expected to deliver a series of lectures continuously and share the tremendous knowledge that he has. Now we are into the 21st century. We need to change according to the requirements of the present time. And as I said here, it is already marked colored, that is red color. It is the responsibility of a teacher to get involved our students in the active construction of knowledge. And here, in this particular pandemic situation, I think the job of a teacher to get our students involved into the process of creating something innovative, I think that is what is expected and required. If you go beyond that, teaching is giving lessons about a particular subject to a group of learners. But now you see the another perspective here. From the student's point of view, learning is gaining knowledge by studying and by getting experience. That's why I said teaching cannot be dissociated from learning and vice versa. There is a reciprocal relationship between the two. But one interesting thing here, students can learn without teachers. I hope you know that. Google Baba is there. Solution to all problems. But again, the question rises about the credibility of the information that you seek from Google or any other engine which is available for getting knowledge. As I said, students can learn without teachers today. But the point is, teachers can't teach without learners, and that's why we want or we need audience or students or listeners in front so that we can share something from our end as teachers. And that's the reason that teaching is fundamentally a reciprocal process. And holistically, when you look at it, you will find that it includes planning, implementation, revision, and evaluation. So these are the things which are related to teaching and learning. But now the question is, what is the difference between offline teaching learning and online teaching learning? As I said in my introduction itself, that the COVID-19 pandemic situation forced all of us, not only the teachers, but also the learners as well, into the situation called online teaching and learning. And unfortunately, none of us is trained. Maybe a few people may have some exposure to technology, some exposure to the use of computers. But there are so many among the teachers' fraternity also, those who cannot even handle the computer properly. And these are the harsh realities that we need to accept. So here, I would like to let you know how to really and effectively teach our students with the different online platforms available. So already ma'am has introduced a few more platforms. She has provided you finer details of so many of them. But let us look at the slide here that gives you so many options like Teachmint, Google Classroom, Moodle, Edmodo, Blackboard, Classroom 2.0, Ngrade, My Gradebook, TeacherTube, Talent LMS, Thinkific, Canvas, Schoology, and so on and so on. I can provide you a huge list of teaching learning platforms which are available today in this global market. Friends, the first of them, before I proceed with Teachmint, the LMS that I liked very much personally, we will definitely have a detailed talk about it. But first of all, try to understand different types of e-tools available or online tools available on different platforms. Whether you can use, computer-based or desktop computer-based platforms or your mobile-based apps, whatever it may be. But you have learning management systems available like Google Classroom, Moodle, or Teachmint. You have online communication tools available like Google Meet, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Skype. Similarly, you have social media channels available like Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. Document management systems like Adobe, G Suite, MS Office, OneDrive, Dropbox, Evernote, and so on. Similarly, you have the online video tools also, where you can develop your e-content and publish it online, like YouTube and Loom. Similarly, you have work planning tools that you can plan for long, like Google Calendar and Calendly. In addition, you have the online quiz makers. Quiz and spatial apps are also available, platforms are also available. But Google Form is a very holistically developed program. Beyond that, to name a few, you have the platforms like Project, ThinkLink, TED Education, EduClipper, Storybird, so on and so on. But my dear friends, I would like to let you know that I may or anybody can provide you a huge list of programs. But the point is, can we use one program and provide all sorts of facilities required? Then there are some programs which are paid. There are many programs which are available free of cost. Because neither the government, nor the universities, nor the colleges are going to pay for any sort of official LMS system with a paid version, whereas it is the discretion of the teacher to decide what to do, how to do, and how to execute his or her own online classes. And apart from a huge list of programs available, I have sorted out a few, and I would like to provide you the finer details of all these programs. This morning, I shared a link in our WhatsApp group of this seminar and requested all the participants to join a classroom that I created with this TeachMint app. For your kind information, TeachMint app is the only Indian app created by an Indian, available for all of us today, and having a very effective learning management tool or system available, that too free of cost for teachers, tutors, and institutes. Unless you install it and start, using it, you will never recognize the importance of this particular online teaching tool available for all of you. As I could see, hardly 15 to 20 participants of this particular event have joined this particular request that I sent. But anyway, in fact, if at all, many of you might have joined, I would have taken an interactive session on this one only. And I made humble request for several times also. But unfortunately, I did not get the positive response from your end. So I will not be able to take any live session with the help of this TeachMint program available. But I'll let you know some of the silent features of this app. This app has a built-in learning management system. If you go for any foreign company offer, you have to pay a huge amount in order to get your LMS. But this TeachMint is providing you a purely free of cost service. And most useful thing for all Indian teachers is the interface is available in many Indian languages like Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, And of course, English is also there. So this platform is a virtual classroom management system. You can fix up your appointment, you can schedule your classes, you can fix up your timetable, you can, if at all you are running a coaching center, you can even go for billing and invoicing, providing the invoice to the people, those who are paying for. On the part of a learner, student engagement platform is also provided by the same organization. It can be easily accessible by your mobile, laptop or desktop computer as well. The most important thing that I liked about this Teachmint is you can deliver live video conferencing lectures live with a simple single touch. Just click to the live button. In a fraction of minutes, you will get connected with the students of your class and you will be available live, just like your Google Meet or Zoom or any other video conferencing platform that you are using. And one more important feature of this app is it records your video lecture also, and the recording will be available in your own classroom, whatever platform you are using, whether computer or mobile. It will be saved in the respective classroom, even for future reference. There are so many faculties, those who could not record their videos, process their videos, so on and so on. But here, a default program is provided by Teachmint that once you begin with your video lecture, if you want to record it, you can record it and the file will be saved over there by Teachmint within 24 hours for future reference. So you can conduct live classes, you can record classes, you can share study material, you can share documents, PDFs, YouTube links, you can give them assignments, you can assess the assignments, you can create quiz, you can conduct examinations also. Online written examinations, online MCQ, multiple choice based examinations. Both the examinations can be successfully done with the help of this Teachmint platform. Whatever 20-25 students, those who joined my class today, I sent them YouTube link, I sent them a PDF document, I sent them the notice about the event today, beginning of the event today. Just for some sort of practical that you can immediately have and understand the utility value of this particular platform, which is freely available. My humble request to all of you, please watch some video tutorials available on YouTube, how to effectively use Teachmint app, install in your mobile. You can anytime access with simple scanning of your screen of the computer, you will get entire access on your computer also. One more very interesting fact about this Teachmint is it will automatically generate your attendance. Suppose you have 60 students in your class and only 40 have joined, you need not take any screenshot in order to find out who has joined and who has not. This program will automatically conduct your attendance, and this attendance statement will be available for future references and analysis also. So this is how the most effective, whatever research I did before preparing myself for this particular presentation today, when I have gone through, and I have been using it, okay, when I have gone through a comparative study of Teachmint with other platforms like Moodle or Google Classroom, I found Teachmint much better than other platforms available. Now let us talk about Google Classroom. I don't know how many of you are using, but in day-to-day life, when I'm getting connected with my students, not only from my college, since I'm conducting the skill development program, and that program is open to all. There are several participants, even from the different countries. Okay. So here, this Google Classroom is a kind of versatile online teaching tool which is made available by Google Incorporations. This is a learning management system, which means teachers can use Google apps. Different Google apps are there. Multiple number of apps can be brought together, can be used over here very effectively for the students. So these Google apps can be used in order to create your lessons, your quizzes, and documents, and all are available inside one Google Classroom that you have. And independently for every classroom, like you have, suppose one particular class of English compulsory, you can have one classroom. English optional, you can have another classroom. Or if at all you are teaching any other subject, paper-wise classes can be created, and you can even go for your own minor changes as required over there for the interface. If you look at Google Classroom as an online tool, right, you will find that there are three important components of eClassroom. One, the stream. Second, the classwork. Third, the people. As far as stream is concerned, whenever you log into your classroom, since you are a teacher and you are managing a number of classes, 4, 5, 10, whatever number you want, you are managing all these classes, you will find it right on your interface. So it contains a high level overflow or overview of what's coming up. However you scheduled in the calendar, whatever is your schedule for the day, right? Everything, and the comments, if at all made by any student, any participant, everything will be available there in the stream. Then you have the second component, that is classwork. Here you will find assignments, quizzes, and discussion questions that you can create as different activities for your students. At a single click, you can proceed with all these things. And the third component is people. It is called people because it provides you the list of all students, those who are joined or those who have currently joined to your class. Of course, you have a particular class, and once you send the link of the class, a particular student of one particular subject will join to that particular class only. You may have more than one classrooms over there. So this particular platform is one of the effective tools which is provided by Google Incorporations. You can set the classroom themes depending on your own requirement. You can use and reuse assignments, tests, whatever you conducted, you can reuse for future purpose also. You can add content to the assignments, you can edit, you can you even share the videos, PDFs, your documents, Google Forms, survey forms, test forms, so on and so on. So this platform is also one of the very good platforms presently available on internet. So either you go for Teachmint or you go for Google Classroom, you will definitely enjoy teaching your students, with the help of these. But when I compare Google Classroom with Teachmint, I found more, what do you call it? The facilities provided by Teachmint over there. But anyway, once you compare and contrast, that will be your choice to go for one particular one. So let us proceed now with another learning platform, that is Moodle. Moodle, actually it is the acronym of a word. Moodle means modular, object-oriented, dynamic learning environment. So this is the full form of Moodle. So this Moodle is a learning platform designed in order to provide educators, administrators, and learners with a single, robust, secure, and integrated system to create personalized learning environment. Mind it. But this is highly professional. You may take the subscription and then you will be able to use all the features available. In the free version, you will be limited to certain features. You can easily download the software onto your own web server, and then you can ask somebody over there from the Moodle organization to help you out, to assist you in order to develop your own class and programs as well. What are the features, key features of Moodle? You can use Moodle as other platforms are also versatile. This is also a versatile one. It's a complete online learning environment. It provides you a very good infrastructure for online teaching learning process, a focal point for online collaboration, I would say. It has a repository of self-study courses and materials that you develop for one particular class. Moreover, Moodle can contain collaborative, synchronous courses that you develop, and similarly, you can have independent, self-paced courses also. I hope you might have heard about some online courses which are offered by UGC and different organizations in our country on the platform like Swayam, that you call MOOC courses. Those who are interested in developing MOOC courses, I think the easiest way to develop your course is to approach Moodle, because an official from Moodle will constantly be in touch with you online, and it will continue to teach you or train you how to really develop your own independent, self-paced course or a program. So I think this platform is really beyond the certain limitations of TeachMint and your Google Classroom as well. Similarly, you have another online tool available for effective teaching and learning, that is Edmodo. ED stands for education. I hope everybody knows about it. So this Edmodo is an educational technology company. Again, this is also a very professional platform available online. So this Edmodo is an educational technology company offering a communication, collaboration, and coaching platform from KG to intermediate. For schools and teachers, they are providing a better platform along with some of their study materials prepared for. So the Edmodo network enables teachers to share content, distribute quizzes, assignments, and manage communication with the students, colleagues, and parents as well. So this last word is quite crucial for me. In the previous platforms that I discussed, you don't have any connectivity with the parents unless you personally try to contact with them. But this Edmodo provides a platform like you get connected with the students, with the colleagues, and with the parents as well. So parents will have an eye upon the teacher's progress and the learner's progress as well. Whether the teacher is teaching effectively or not, whether the learner is really learning or not, all these things can even be monitored by the parents over there. So let us talk about a few key features of Edmodo. So Edmodo is an educational tool that connects teachers and students and is assimilated into a social network platform. See the kind of thing which is done by this particular one only. Okay, just like your Facebook or WhatsApp, it is giving you a platform that of a social network. So you can have the teachers fraternity well connected there. You can have students fraternity if at all you want to give them the access. That will be the open access for all. So that way, parents, teachers, and students can be getting connected into the social networking kind of thing. So it facilitates learning goals, whatever learning goals that you design in order to teach your subject, you can do that. You can conduct the online polls. Just before some time, you learned a few platforms available in order to conduct the polls of your students. You can conduct the polls of students, your colleagues, and even that of parents as well. So you can give awards and badges to the individuals. In the previous programs that I discussed, this feature was not there. That is awarding badges. If at all somebody has extraordinarily done well, so you can highlight it by giving or offering certain awards and badges online. So this way you can do. So you have the access to students' progress. Entire spreadsheet will be available right from day one to the last working day of your online class. You will get the progress of the student available in the spread list or spreadsheet. Similarly, you can organize the online classroom discussions among the limited numbers, or you can even open the discussion for the entire class, or else you can even conduct a group discussion of a limited few students only. Free admin account can be activated, mind it well, as far as this Edmodo is concerned. And this network is, providing you a kind of contact or connectivity with the students, administrators, and parents. So these are some of the key features of Edmodo, which is also a very good platform available for the teachers to teach effectively online. Then you have the Blackboard. These are some of the programs that I studied, shortlisted, and then only I'm talking about them. But my preference would be first preference to Teachmint and second preference to Google Classroom. Others are also there, but they have their own, pros and cons. Once you get into it, you will realize. Then you have the Blackboard. Blackboard is one of the most capable teaching tools. You can collaborate and integrate the students over here. You can have the group management. You can have grading enhancements. You can have students' previews. You can have safe assignments delivered to the students and then written back by the teacher. So whatever points that I raised over here, all these very important features are made available by Blackboard organization. And this is also one of the very effective tools which is made available by this organization. You can have the calendar, you can have the content editor, you have the retention center there, which is inbuilt program of this Blackboard. You have the dynamic content processing facility. You also can have the data management system there. And just like Google Drive, you get one more advantage of this Blackboard. You can save ample data, so much of your e-data or e-content in the Blackboard Drive. This is the additional feature that I could find in Blackboard, and this is not available in other platforms except Google, because Google will provide you the natural access or immediate access or inbuilt access to your Google Drive. So this way, each of these programs are providing you, some are the other thing little bit different than others, and that way these learning management systems are developed by all these organizations. Actually, we can discuss a number of platforms, but my humble request to all of you that instead of going for a number of platforms, better you decide one of them, adopt one of them, execute yourself for one of them and try to maximize the use of effective online teaching learning, and then only the things will really get materialized. It's not like only delivering a lecture with video conferencing tool like Google Meet or Zoom app, and then you feel a sigh of relief that I did my job and 3 of my classes or 5 of my classes are successfully done. This is not actually online teaching. Online teaching is something really different than only delivering classes with the help of the video conferencing system. So if you use all these, then only you will feel happy that yes, you are really doing a great job by providing a better online platform for your learners. Finally, I have a question for all of you. Is online teaching really a good idea or a bad idea? If you think of the situation, pandemic situation caused by COVID-19, this is definitely a good idea. But if you ask your students, because I kept asking my students whether you like the online classes only or you enjoy the offline classes more, most of my students said that we want a blended classroom, sir, but most of the time we want our teacher in the classroom, provided with all these e-systems or e-platforms available. That will be definitely adding on to the effectivity of your teaching and learning. So finally, I would like to say, education is not just about subject knowledge, but also about developing social skills and sportsmanship among the learners, and which is built over the years. It cannot happen in a day or two. So relying solely on online education may hinder the holistic development of children, your learners, and many may underperform later in their professional life and personal life as well. So that's why the UGC also, I think, came up with a better solution, that we will have a blended education in the days to come. We will have some component to be taught offline, and we will have an option of teaching some component online, and that the proper blending of offline and online will definitely be the perfect approach to address to the young generation. So friends, before I conclude with my presentation today, I would like to very quickly highlight some of the advantages and disadvantages of online teaching and learning. First, I would like to talk in nutshell about the advantages. You have the flexibility of teaching learning. You have individual attention on online platform. You have appropriateness while teaching, because you will be focused more while teaching. You have the anonymity while teaching. You get a lot of autonomy as well while delivering online classes. You can have the student-centered learning approach. This is the most important feature of online teaching. And the most important thing is accessibility will be easier as far as online teaching is concerned. But once you have some pros, you will have some cons as well. Where you have some advantages, definitely you will have a few disadvantages also. So looking at the other side here, under the category of disadvantages, you have the quality concern, the most important thing that we are really worried about. Second, minimal socializing. Once you are there in the offline classroom, I think socializing is more. But online classes, no socializing. So internet connection problems are there, computer skills problems are there, electronic gadget related issues are there. So several issues because of the technology, I would say, that may happen. Because we do experience many students from rural areas. They don't get proper signal, proper network of their, mobiles. So in the absence of the proper and faster network, the communication done online, that is video conferencing, will not be streamed properly. So many are facing problem today. The most important concern of a teacher is sometimes students are dishonest. I heard about a few teachers, those who were telling me, or even, I don't know how many of my students are also doing it, that the students keep their, just mark their attendance. They show up that yes, they are available in the class. They put your, their mobile or computer on, and they just simply get away from the system. Then this sort of dishonesty is possible on this online mode, unless you insist them to keep their camera on and sit right in front of the camera. There is the minimal supervision because of the online system. And of course, it will lead to future challenges also. If your screen time is increased, you may have some issues with your eyes. You may have issues with your concentration. You may have your issues, some, related to your body problems or physical problems. There are any number of issues related to this kind of usage constantly for long. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of online teaching and learning. So I must express my sincere gratitude to everybody, those who have listened to this talk very patiently. I'm also thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present a talk on this particular topic. And I hope, within the time limits which were assigned to me, I could finish up this topic. But mind it well, this is just the beginning. This is not the end. So whatever new platforms that you came across today, or else the platforms, but unfortunately due to different reasons, you were not using these platforms, I would insist you all, being just among you all, among your fraternity, that if at all you could really use one of the platforms and constantly keep using it for long, automatically you will be an expert of one particular platform. It will be beneficial to your learners. It will be beneficial to you also. And beyond that, if you could also, provide some sort of e-content to your students in different forms, that will be the added advantage to your teaching and learning process. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Have a great time.